my name is Hans George Campbell, and today we're going to be taking a look at a very interesting piece of hardware that I picked up on eBay. So let's get started. I thought you guys would be interested in seeing this because I didn't even know these existed. So let's open up the box. Okay, and it's got appears to be 4 cables in here. They're SATA power cables. Okay, SATA power cables. And then we have some screws. And we have, looks like 3 wire ties, 2 or 3 wire ties. Okay. So 3 wire ties. Now, what this is, okay, I'm going to go ahead and put it a little bit closer to the camera. But what this is a SATA power switch box, so that you can hook up like multiple SATA drives and you can turn them on and off with these switches right here. Okay, and I'll tell you what I'm going to be using this for. And there's what the actual board looks like. Okay, and you can mount up to 2.5 inch drives in here. Now I would recommend installing like your SSDs in here. You can have mount up to 2 of those in here. I don't recommend mounting the 2.5 inch like laptop hard drives, those solid state hard drives. I don't recommend installing those because they're made out of metal and they can short out on the bottom of the board right here. But the solid state hard drives, they're basically they have a plastic case, so they should be fine, and they're not as tall as the mechanical hard drives. But this is good quality. It's a good quality device. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Wait a minute. Zoom in a little bit more. Yeah, it's a good quality device, and it comes with these. It comes with these cables here. Okay, it has 4 of those cables. So yeah, it comes with 4 of those cables. Okay, and bag of screws, and of course the 3 wire ties. Okay. Like I said, it's good quality construction. It's all metal. Even the front piece right here is all metal. Has high quality push button switches. And what I plan on doing with this, okay, as you guys probably already know, the support for Windows 7 it has closed. I mean, Microsoft has stopped supporting updates for Windows 7 as of January 14th, and I've been using Windows 7. I actually prefer Windows 7 and Windows XP. Those are my 2 favorite Windows. But now, because of online banking and eBay and PayPal and stuff like that, I feel that I'm going to be forced, everyone's going to be forced to go to Windows 10. Because pretty soon your banking institutions and your financial institutions will no longer support Windows 7. A lot of people, they think that, okay, you got to give up Windows 7 because you're no longer going to get updates to the antivirus software. Okay, but I'm not worried about that. As long as you're careful what websites you visit, you should never have problems with getting viruses. A lot of my computers I run with absolutely no antivirus software installed at all, and I have them on the internet. And I have never gotten viruses on those computers, ever. because I'm careful what websites I go to, you know. And the same thing is true with Windows 7. I would continue using Windows 7 if all it was is that Microsoft is going to stop supporting, stop updating the virus definitions, you know, the definitions for the antivirus software, you know. I would continue using Windows 7. That's no problem. But I think this is how it's happened in the past. This is how you're forced to switch to the newer Windows. It's the financial institutions, like your online banking, PayPal, eBay, things like that. They're the ones that force you to switch to a new Windows, you know, Windows that they support. And if they sense that you're still using an older version of Windows, like Windows 7, they'll say, you need to upgrade your Windows, or we can't continue. So that's what's going to happen. So I thought, well, okay, I saw this. I was thinking about actually making one of these myself. But I saw one of these on eBay, and I said, well, that's exactly what I need right there. And I paid less than $20 for it, and I couldn't make it. I mean, I couldn't make this for $20. I mean, you know, those switches alone are expensive. And these high-quality Japanese capacitors right here, those aren't cheap, you know. So, yeah, I couldn't make this for less than 20 bucks. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to continue using Windows 7. It'll be my main Windows. And what's nice about this, okay, is I'll have 4 separate hard drives, mechanical hard drives. I don't use solid-state drives, and I'll explain why in a moment. Mechanical hard drives are actually better than solid-state drives. Yes, you heard me right, and I'm going to explain why in just a moment. Okay, so my first hard drive is going to be Windows 7. And it's going to be drive C. My second hard drive is going to be Windows 10, and it too will be drive C. Okay? So when I get ready to boot up in the Windows, I turn the Windows 10 hard drive off to boot up in Windows 7. If I want to boot up in the Windows 10, then I turn the Windows 7 hard drive off and reboot the computer in the Windows 10. I'm also going to have a hard drive, separate mechanical hard drives on these 2 switches as well. The first hard drive will be for backing up my YouTube videos for the Hans Campbell Show. And the second hard drive will be for backing up my videos for the Retro Geek Computers YouTube channel, because I have 2 YouTube channels, okay? But I also back up each video onto their own separate DVD. I have you know, the movies backed up on DVD too. These hard drives here are just for a quick backup. And when I'm not using those hard drives for backing up my YouTube videos, I can turn them off so that they're not running all the time. And that's what's really neat about this switch box. And I'll print up some labels to put here. You know, Windows 7, Windows 10, BU1, BU2, backup 1, backup 2. And so I think this will work out really well. Yeah, I just thought I'd show you this device here. And yeah, you can mount up to 2 solid-state drives in here. And that's pretty cool. Because the solid-state drives, they don't need fan cooling. They don't need to be cooled. They don't run hot. Whereas mechanical hard drives, like what I prefer to use, I usually put those behind the fan, the main case fans on the front, so that the fans are blowing air. They're constantly blowing air over those mechanical hard drives to keep them nice and cool, you know. So, okay, the main reason why I prefer mechanical hard drives over SSDs is because, okay, SSDs are about 2.5 times faster than a mechanical hard drive. And they are quiet. They're very quiet. They don't generate any heat. So those are the advantages of the SSD. But no one tells you the disadvantages. And yes, there are disadvantages to SSDs. The first disadvantage is you have to use them on a daily basis, or at least a weekly basis. the memory that's in those solid-state drives, they have to be constantly refreshed, or else the data will become corrupted and you'll actually lose the data. In other words, if you have a PC set up with an SSD and you decide to go on vacation and you turn that computer off, by the time you come back from your 2-week vacation, don't be surprised if the data on that hard drive or on that SSD is corrupted. And you have to start all over again. You have to reformat that drive, reinstall Windows, reinstall all your programs and everything. That's one of the main disadvantages of an SSD, and nobody tells you that. Also, SSDs are not made to last long. The average life expectancy for an SSD is between 1.5 to 5 years. That's not very long. Whereas a good quality mechanical hard drive, like a Seagate hard drive, or a Fujitsu, or a Maxtor, hard drive, those hard drives can last, 25 to 35 years easily. I have SCSI hard drives that I use in my Amiga 2000s and in my Amiga 1000 that are way back from the mid 80s, and they still run beautifully. No errors on the platters. These mechanical hard drives are made to last a very long time, especially if you have them fan cooled, like I have on my computers. Okay. Another thing is, mechanical hard drives, you don't have to constantly be refreshing them. You can turn your computer off, come back 10 years later, and that hard drive will boot right up just fine. All your programs are there. Windows is set up just the way you had it. All your data is still there. Everything is still there. So those are the advantages of having a mechanical hard drive. And I actually prefer a mechanical hard drive. I just do. This is especially true in my legacy PCs, like my Super Socket 7 computers, my Pentium 2, Pentium 3 computers, and pretty soon I'm going to be doing a Pentium 4 build, which I will make some videos of, post them on my YouTube channel. But yeah, I just thought I'd show this today because I think this is a very interesting piece of hardware. It fits in a standard 5¼ inch drive bay, for those of us that use the older cases that actually have drive bays, So this is a very neat thing. You can set up to 4 different hard drives, and you can turn them on and off. So I thought this was pretty cool. The other thing, I need to see how long these are, because what I may have to do, because I'm going to be installing this in a very tall, like a full-size tower case. And so these may not reach the power connectors on my hard drive, but these are pretty long. They appear to be like around, I don't know, they appear to be like about, I don't know, they look like they're about 2 feet long. If I have to, what I'll do is I can cut it in the middle. And then I can solder in extension wires and then, use heat shrink tubing on the connections if I need to extend this, make it a little bit longer. But 2 feet, I think, would be long enough. Should be long enough. Yeah. But yeah, I thought I'd show this device to you guys because I think it's a pretty interesting piece of hardware. Yeah. Okay, well anyway, that's it for this video. Just thought I'd show you this interesting piece of hardware. Anyway, my name is Hans George Campbell, and until next time.